Hi guys, I wanted to do a video today about my cute gerbils, and as I was getting started I found out that the water bottle was entirely empty, and I hung up a new one yesterday because one of the gerbils has completely destroyed the other water bottle. And as I'm looking into the cage now, I find another destroyed and completely empty water bottle. Everything leaked out of it, which is not so good with the bedding material. But I'll show you. I brought it to the kitchen. So this is what the water bottle should look like. And this is what the perfectly fine water bottle from yesterday looks like today. And I also found out that the water bottle attached to it is completely pierced and leaked out all the water. So I have to go fix this. I don't know if pet shops have something to to help me out with that, something metal so they can't get to the plastic. But this is getting pretty annoying, and I'll have to fix this fast because one of the gerbils, she will just completely destroy it every time, and in a really super short amount of time. So let me get this fixed and I'll talk a bit more about the better side of my gerbils. Alright, bye. Look at them being so curious. Nice and clean. Continuing to clean the cage and to refill it with new material. Yeah, you want this? Just loving this. trying to break this up a bit. I won't do everything, just let them do the rest a bit as well. They get scared of something or sudden movement, then they keep on coming back. They just are too damn curious. Look at this. Yeah, make sure it doesn't get into the wheel too much. Yeah, you like that, huh? She just loves running her wheel. So, okay. Okay, so let me complete this. Their little sun bath. Where am I gonna put this then? Perhaps here? No, they will shift it. As heavy as it seems, they will shift it, because they will start digging in the hay and all. So I'll just have to move. Wait. Doesn't work too well. Oops. So let me just shift this a bit here. Keep your hole. Keep this hole. There's another one over here. And then perhaps we put this here. And then this time, we hope they will not ruin the water bottle once again. It's not a good idea this way. I'll place it here. It's getting way too crowded here. Just... It's not easy fixing everything in here. There. There. And then, last but not least, where to put your food. Want some? Go and sit in your... Ow! I'm not... That's the problem with these gerbils. They bite. My previous gerbils did not have the urge to bite everything all the time. But unfortunately, they seem to do that, which makes it a hell of a lot more difficult to actually socialize with them. Doesn't really matter that there's some in there. Oh, look at that. So as you can see, I put the lid back on and I placed the food on a spot where they cannot dig everything around it over the food, if you understand what I mean. And therefore I can keep an eye on the amount of food and the freshness of the food that they have. and I replaced the treadmill a bit, like, so they don't have to cramp up if they want to drink. Sorry for the reflection. I actually like having two containers. Before I only had the bottom one. And that was a lot of fun for them, but as I mentioned with the food and the water before, it just disappears in their bedding material, and therefore I can't really check it. And so, and especially, you know, during the day you don't want it to disappear or something like that they can't drink. And therefore I had this top part custom made so that I could keep the lower part for them to dig their tunnels and you know, have their little chambers to sleep in, and then have the bottom or the top level so that I could keep an eye on the food and the water, and also the sand bath. They love their sand bath. It's like their shower, so they don't shower with water, but they shower with sand to keep everything clean, their fur clean, and keep little unwanted things out of their coat. And so now they have their sand bath without all the bedding material in it. There will be some eventually, as you can see, with all the hay that I put in, but it keeps it minimized. So these are my second couple gerbils. These are two sisters from the same nest, and I got them in January. They were born, I believe, somewhere end of November 2012. And I still had one of my two previous gerbils. She was getting old and having health problems, and her sister from the first couple that I had died. They were also from the same nest, and I actually had to put her down instead of that she died on her own. I had to put her down because she had a tumor in her stomach, and they told me that from the vets that they could not operate something that small, and the chances of her actually recovering properly would have been really, really difficult. So I decided to not put her through that. I tried to give her some painkillers, but she wouldn't take anything else, and she was just miserable, so I decided to let her go. And then I had her sister still remaining, also with some health problems. I think also a tumor in the stomach, and but she was still doing fine and behaving like a normal gerbil. And so I thought, well, this could continue for another year or so, because my two previous gerbils turned 3, and I've heard that some gerbils actually reach the age of 4 and sometimes even 5. So I decided, well, or actually we decided, well, if she's, you know, having a chance on living for another year, we can't keep her on her own, so we got these two new ones. But unfortunately, shortly after that, the old gerbil, the 3-year-old, the last one, she also started to have a bad life, and so as soon as I saw that these symptoms were just, you know, making it impossible for her to be herself, then I decided to also take her to a vet and give her a soft ending. And then these two remained. But actually, just before I started that, seeing that the old gerbil had some problems, these two were actually fighting non-stop with each other, and I called up the girl who had all of the nests, and she said, well, whenever that happens, you should take them out of their big environment, even though they're fighting, and put them in a very small container, like this, these transport containers. Look, she's drinking. And I was like, okay, that sounds crazy. Wouldn't they absolutely kill themselves if they were all together in one little space, the three of them? And she said, no, that's the best thing, because then they start bonding with each other and they start finding comfort with each other instead of fighting each other. So I decided to give it a shot, and so I did, and that actually turned out to be right. So they calmed down whenever they were in a small environment, and the girl said, well, just keep them for as long as you need to keep them in the small container until they get along again, and then see if you put them back in their normal environment, if they will be kind to each other. And so I kept them there for a day, I think, 1.5 days, and then I put them back and they started fighting again. But I didn't know what was going on, and it kept on going for about a week. And later on I discovered that the whole fighting of these two was, I think, just because the old one was discomforted because she felt bad, and we couldn't see that from the outside yet. But of course they obviously noticed that there was something going on, and they got stressed. So they went at each other, and then when she died, the old one, then peace came back in the cage, and I've never had a problem with these two since. So they're happily enjoying their new environment. With my first two gerbils, as I said, they didn't bite, and so they would actually at night, in the evening, they would come and beg to be held on the hand, and so I would stick out my hand, and they would crawl up on my hand, and then I would put them on top of this lid, and they would walk around. And luckily they had actually a fear of heights, so they would be a little scared to look over the edge, but they would always stay on the lid. So I thought that was pretty cool. And whenever they wanted to go down back in the cage or the tank, then I would see their body language. They would wait for me. I would stick out my hand, and then they would go back on my hand, and I would put them back in. But with these two new ones, they are now, I think, almost like 9 or 10 months old. With these new ones, like this one, she bites everything non-stop, and I cannot seem to teach her that she can't bite me. And it's not like intentional or that she's, you know, mean or anything. It's just she thinks that I can be eaten or I can be nibbled at, and she will just nibble at everything, as what happened with the water bottle. And I have no idea how long this one will last, but since this the new bottle from yesterday evening got shredded in just a night and half a day, I'm not giving this much of a chance, so I have to look for a solution ASAP. But she's happy now. As long as she can nibble and dig and do her thing, she's a happy little camper. Yes. Oh well. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please like it. And I'll keep you posted. Thanks. Bye. I just wanted to add to this video the result, or the problem solver, which is this glass water bottle with a metal spout, if that's the correct word. I bought it yesterday when I shot the video, and it's survived so far, so that's a good sign. Anyway, the little yellow thing that you see floating in there is something to keep track of the level of water, so it kind of reminds you when you have to refill the bottle with new water. It's easy to see from a distance. And I also read in the description of the package that it has, well, in the tip it has two little bowls, one in which they push to drink out of, and the other one to prevent it from leaking. So I thought that was pretty cool. My gerbils are having no problems with the bottle, so so far so good. Problem solved.